Out of Madison County, and people living in one housing complex in Anderson are fed up with the living conditions there. They're tired of seeing
landlords are seeing record-breaking profits, but the calls to report substandard housing continue to rise.
The longer legislators delay, the more people will suffer.
Indiana law on paper is really good for tenants in that there is a requirement that landlords provide what's called habitable conditions, which means that the place shouldn't have rampant leaks, it shouldn't have mold, it shouldn't have rodents. The problem is that it's very, very difficult for tenants to enforce that law, and landlords unfortunately very often break it and violate their rights and don't have any consequences.
We found this house once we moved in. There were a lot of things that were not okay. The backyard was filled with trash. The bathroom floor sagged, mouse droppings everywhere. Only the stove worked, the oven did not. The walls were all water damaged. One of the windows leaked. So I ended up calling code enforcement. And at that point, I was not going to spend any of my money to fix up their house that they refused to fix.
When the tenants do complain to the landlord, and when the tenants do complain to the Board of Health to try to get their rights enforced, the landlords oftentimes will retaliate against them. They'll either file an eviction claim against them, or really often they'll say, you know what, I'm not going to renew your lease. And then the family has to move. And they shouldn't be retaliating against people, but it happens all the time.
Yes, I lived actually down the street from here. Lived there for just about 3 years. You know, they would not fix anything. I would send orders constantly. There really wasn't anything I could do until I went to the State House for a rally, and it was like as soon as I gave that speech and I was on TV, roaches, mold, mice, and rats. All of a sudden I was getting knocks on the door by the maintenance to replace my refrigerator, to fix my door, but at the same time they were just preparing for me for when I was on my way out, because they were determined I was not going to stay. And it seemed like the leasing office was trying their best not to let me get caught up with my rent. Instead of charging $75, which was the amount total in late fees every month, I was being charged $250 to $500. And so they filed for eviction. I left on April 7th. I was told once again by the judge that I would not have a judgment, and now there's one on my record. And that's why I haven't been able to find a place.
So we are now homeless once again. I've been homeless for almost a month, watching TV, sleeping in a bed. Take these things for granted. It's not easy.
In virtually every other state across the nation, renters have more rights than they do in Indiana. If the landlord won't fix their problem, then the tenants have a right to put their rent, not to the landlord, but put it in escrow. Or they have a right to make the repairs themselves and deduct the cost of the repairs from their rent. It's called escrow accounts, it's called repair and deduct. Almost every state in the union has it.
When you have a place where you're comfortable and it's clean and livable, you're not in that survival mode. You're actually living and not just existing. It's important to have a working kitchen, buy fresh foods. It's important to have a clean home that's not filled with bugs. It's just important to live in a place where you're comfortable and not worrying about the next shoe dropping.
So we're in a cute little apartment, 860 square feet, most of it's kitchen, but it's just what we needed. It's just such a relief to be in a place that's warm and safe. We're gonna do it this time. We have to.
I'm just trying not to be frustrated. I'm still hopeful, but at the same time, it's getting colder. A friend of mine put us up in a hotel from Tuesday to this past Monday, and I cried the night before because I didn't want to get back in the car.
And I'm just trying to stay hopeful, but it's so hard.
Firefighters battled intense flames fed by brutal winds.
I'm just tired.
As they desperately tried to rescue 6 children trapped inside. Monday, city leaders, along with the state fire marshal, offered their condolences to the family and their support for emergency responders who couldn't get inside in time.
All right, we have a quorum. This is a meeting, the last meeting of this half of the session of the Judiciary Committee. We're going to get started right away. First up will be Senate Bill 243, Landlord-Tenant Relations, with Senator Andrea Hunley.
More housing advocates and tenants told lawmakers that they believe there is a housing crisis in Indiana, one they are seeing and living. Right now, once a property is vacant, the code violation goes away, and Health and Hospital has no way to follow through to make sure a problem gets fixed.
Because of the shortage of affordable housing or safe affordable housing, tenants are forced into these situations of, bad housing, and then don't have any remedies once they get there.
Please call the roll.
Senator Alexander?
No.
Senator Buck?
No.
Senator Freeman?
No.
Senator Gaskell?
Yes.
Senator Glick?
Yes.
Senator Cook?
No.
Senator Niemeyer?
No.
Senator Pohl?
Yes.
Senator Randolph? Senator Taylor?
Yes.
Chair Brown?
Yes.
5 to 5, it does not pass.
Very much, Senator Hunley, for your time. All right, next we have Senate Bill 70.